Hello friends, my name is Renuka and welcome to my channel. And this is my one kit and 10 and more card project. And this month I'm little bit late because my kit is little bit arriving late and everything is got little late. So anyways, so these are the 5 projects I made today, and soon I will show you more projects with this kit. So this kit came with a beautiful stamp, and this time I didn't do any unboxing cause I just came, the everything is late, so that's why I think it's not worth it. But I show you and just go through what products are in the kit. And this is the sheet where you can get of ideas, and there are stamp and pattern paper. So this pattern paper is really nice, and I'm planning to use with that lights. And then for the other pattern papers I'm planning to use, and they have some kind of stripes and some sayings. These are volume, schoolhouse red, green, and these are the Sam Mrs. cardstocks. So I just quickly go through them. And now this is the stamp, which is the main focal point of the kit. Now this is the reindeer, and there is one curved banner in this stamp. This is Merry and Bright stamp, and the special thing about this stamp is you don't have to curve those small sayings that you lighten up my Christmas or Merry and Bright. You just they fit in those curved banner very nicely. So now I decided to stamp all of those on spectrum specialty paper, cause I'm using here spectrum nori markers for coloring them. I don't have Copic, but if you have, go ahead with that. Now here I'm using Momento ink, cause this is Tuxedo Momento black ink is best for the alcohol markers. So I go with them, and I'm using here Misty, and you can see that I'm stamping again and again, and I just make sure that I get a nice crisp impression each time. So I don't have any die cuts for these, cause I believe that there is no die cut for these stamps, so you need to fuzzy cut out all of them. So this card is little time consuming, but I think it's worth it, and I can make 2 cards out of it. So now I'm using here my spectrum nori pens, and I'm using 2 shades of red here. You can see that I'm using CR10 and DR5. So I'm just kind of giving shading to them. You can use 3 shades if you want to, but if the images are small and areas are not that big, I suggest you to go with 2 markers, cause they will blend each other so nicely that you don't need to add 3rd shade. Now I'm doing here the same time the reds and the yellows and the browns color, and somehow I don't have the full set of these, and you can see that simultaneously I'm writing down those numbers, and I will post that photo on my blog, so you can go there and see exactly which color I use. And so I don't have the full sets of these markers, so whenever I feel that I need a between color between the 2 colors, I just took one tip of the darker marker, I hold that in my hand, and then I go with the lighter marker, just touching that tip, and then adding shading to the main area. Now wherever the points are like small, and now you can see, so you will never contaminate your marker here. You just need to scribble that marker on the fine paper that you can see I'm doing on my right hand here, and your markers will perfectly fine with that. So this is the same way you do with the Copics. Now you can see for the smaller areas I use the small pen tape, but for the bigger areas afterwards I will use the chisel tape. Now this is the small chart which I print out from Spectrum Nori site, and I just love that because I have an idea that which color looks on nice paper, because when you see those caps this looks something different, and sometimes when you add color on your cardstock it looks different. So now here I'm kind of shading this tree, and I'm doing that kind of more and more shading, and at the end I just add one dark green color to it. I don't know why, but I don't like that coloring, and I don't want to skip that part or cut that part. I just want to show you that how I did, and it hardly make an effect that I color the tree first in a lighter way. So now here I'm using directly chisel tip because these are the banners. I don't want to waste my time to doing that, because anyway I'm I don't have die cut, so I will hand cut them. So it's like just adding colors and mixing and blending them nicely. So after this you can see that I'm using the same technique. Then after coloring all these images, I just cut out them off camera. Now you can see that I color that whole tree in green. And for the base I'm using here MFT Scallop Blueprint 27 die and Samus stamp big stitch rectangle. So now I'm seeing my pattern papers here and kind of choosing them, that which pattern I want to use, because these papers are double-sided paper. And now I'm using the second rectangle from it. I will cut out bunch of rectangles here, but I'll use them in next card. Now for this I decided to make a little shaker window for that, and I'm using here C6 circle dies. You can use the Simonses if you have stitch dies. So I die cut out one ring from that white snow, and I cut out this reindeer paper, and now I'm making the small window on this panel. So I put my schoolhouse red cardstock first, then I want to put this small panel on it. So before adhering that panel with the tape, I just put the small circle which I already cut, and now here I'm creating a shaker card. So I use the double-sided foam tape here, and I'll just double it up because I want more elements to shake. And now I decided to put the double-sided tape only on the two sides because this panel is not that big. Now here I'm using the packaging material to create a shaker, and this is the first time I'm using that clean clear film, and I want to see that how it looks, but it's looking really nice. And now I have this heart shape small die cut from Simonses, and it cut out the beautiful small hearts. I put those and some sequins and sea beads in that, and then I add little bit more color to the frame here, so it will just match the overall look. And then I put those colored reindeer with the help of the foam tape, and after that I add the You Lighten Up My Christmas banner, which is also in red color, and I also add the same height of foam tape to them. So there are 1/4 inch, 1/6 inch, whichever you are using. So this complete first card. Now for the second card I decided to use watercolor paper. Here I am using Bristol watercolor paper. I put down all those images and on my Misty, and then I stamp them again and again by using MFT's hybrid ink, hybrid licorice ink. If you have Simonses, you can use those also. Just make sure that whichever ink you are using, it should be waterproof, because we are using watercolors here. Now I bought some colors which are like metallic colors, watercolors, and I bought these from Amazon, and I'll link those below in the product, but you can see those colors on Joann's also, some kind of $5 or something. So then I decided to adhere my panel with the help of the painter's tape here, and I should do that first, but I don't know why I didn't do that. And now I'm just putting those colors on my panel. Here I'm using two brush. One is the bigger one, I think the size 4, and another is size 2. I'm just kind of putting and layering color, and I'll use silver color for the bottom side. I don't want everything should white. I want to color every bit of it. So I'm using the browns and reds for this reindeer, and you can see that I'm not much concerned about how it looks. I just want to put those metallic colors on there, and this is the first time I'm using them. So I add little bit of water on those pan before, I think half an hour, and then I just put more and more colors of blues and purples there, and I want to see that how that looks. cause first of all I decided that I will have the transparent translucent look for that, so I put that aside for drying. I don't want to heat dry. Now I'm moving to the next card. I just trim out this small panel from the cardstock pattern paper and then put that on Simon's rectangle, stitch rectangle. Now you can see that on the green I have already one rectangle cut out in the between. In this way you can save your pattern papers and the main cardstock. Now I'm using here color box white pigment ink. You can use Hero Arts or Samus pigment ink just to create a snow on that red thing, and then I added all this thing on the white card base. All these card base I use are in my stash. I'm not using the card base which came in the kit. I just cut out them for just to match the pattern papers on it, so that it will look all together nice and I can create more cards with this. So I'm using here 1/8 foam tape. Now I'll add this satin row on the upper side of it, and this sentiment came in the pattern paper. I just try these strips are, and I just cut out them and make a flag out of them and putting little bit glue, and at the end I'm using the same thickness of foam tape which I use for the back panel of the heart. And now you can see that I'm sticking that heart which we colored in the starting, and I add a little bit of glossy accent on them. So this complete the third card. Now for the next one, I want to use this red paper and that tree. So I decided to use this Simon's borders, the scallop one, and I used the bigger scallop one, and this is the leftover piece from that reindeer paper background. Now I just cut that and put the on the yellow color cardstock here, and this is my card base. So this is I'm kind of planning that how things will go. Then I think that this is looking a little bit empty, so I decided to add more stamping on my main card base. I used those gift acrylic stamps to make a kind of baseline to it, and I just use the Memento ink, and I'm using here Misty. You can go ahead and use your stamps also with the acrylic block, and I'm just kind of randomly putting them. Just want to make sure that everything is straight and nice, and I will erase that pencil line when I stamp all of them together. Now after this I decided to add more matching color to those gifts, so I pull on my yellow colors and color those gifts with the yellow colors. Again I'm using two shades, CT3 and CT1, to color those, and this is Spectrum Aqua alcohol markers. And then I cut these, basically I'm trimming this red panel to the size of the front card, and then I use the fun foam here and just adhere that on the front of the panel, and then put this tree and the same greeting, and you brighten up my Christmas. It's like yellow, red and green, so I really like those funky colors and I think this is look really nice. Then for add little bit of more interest, I put glossy accents on those ornaments and put glossy accents on the paper also to add those little stars. These stars are from Darcy, and this didn't came in a kit. It's having my stash, so I'm just using them to add little bit of glitter. So this completes the card. Now for the next card I want to create some kind of tree here, but before that I want to frame it. So I use this Christmas saying small stamp, and I use again a white pigment ink and just stamping the Christmas wishes on both the sides. And then I'm planning to make tree out of those small sayings and banners like thinking of you, Merry Christmas, holiday wishes and all. When I saw that pattern paper, this idea has come like, oh my god, this will look really nice and I want this on a bright red or green color. So finally I end up making that on the red color. So now I just make one strip from the pattern paper, and I'm just taking those small sayings on that by using glossy accent, and I just want that kind of wonky look to it. I don't want everything should be straight, so I'm just cutting out, and I'll make sure that whenever I'm going on the upper side, the saying will become more smaller, and it will create that triangular shape of the Christmas tree. And I'm using a little bit of leftovers there to add more interest to it. And after all these adding, I just make one triangular shape on the upper side of that tree. Now I want some kind of more dimension to it, so I'm adding the foam tape behind those small banners here. And the main focus of these card panel is that tree, so I don't want to add any sentiments because all those sentiments are already on this tree, and just want to focus on the tree. It's kind of focal point on the card. And then I want something to stand on my tree because it's looking like floating in the air. So I just choose one pattern paper from that, and you can see that we use that scallop rectangle before, and I just drag it out the leftover and just make one small pot or pan kind of thing where you can put these tree, so it will look really nice because all these pattern papers are coordinated with each other very nicely. Then I put all this on the main craft cardstock here, and then I want to frame it more, so I decided to add white gel pen. And before that I'm adding here the stickers here, white stickers, to add more interest and glitter to the card. Now I'm here cutting the excess one, and then when I'm kind of happy with that I'll stop that, and then I add a white line on the upper and bottom of the card panel. And I'm using here Tim Hole scale. This is a really nice tool to have in your hand. Now my watercolor panel is kind of dry, so I'm seeing that how it looks, so it having kind of water squashes on it, and I decided to adhere that on the MFT's gray color cardstock. And then I want more color to that, so I use my Spectrum aqua markers here. These are the watercolor markers, and these are really nice and bright. I don't have zigs, but I'm planning to buy them, but up till then I think these are really nice. So these are a little bit transparent and translucent, so you don't lose the shimmery effect here. You will have that shimmery effect with you, and you can easily fix that wherever the scotches are by adding just a little bit more water in there. It just brighten up your card. So first of all I decided to go with only the gifts and the reindeer, and then I can't stop myself to adding more colors, so I make a frame kind of thing here. And here I'm using the two colors to add those frames, so it will really pop up. And you can see wherever you have more colors, you can just use a paper towel to make them. And these are the watercolor base, so they are mixing with each other really nice. I want that vibrant look here, and after that I want something more, so I'm not stopping myself for adding colors. Then I use the aqua color, then I use a little bit of mint color, and then the purple one, and I kind of mixing them with my flat brush and adding a little bit of water them. And you can see that these colors are really intense, so I'm just putting water there, and I don't want to get things go muddy, so I just put the excess color on the paper there, and I just roll the towel paper towel one on there, and just kind of making sure that I get the translucent look and I don't lose the metallic effect of the card. And finally I piece all those things on the main cardstock, and then I'm adding a little bit of white and red and black color to adding my highlights, and this completes the cards. And finally I decided to add more black color because I thought that this image is little bit missing in those all the coloring, so I just went over and stamp it again. If you are using misty, you can put that misty there and stamp that reindeer again, but I just do that. So now you can see that we make one shaker card, one panel card, one watercolor card, one tag card, and one the banners with it. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I'll come with more project with the same kit and more cards on my Christmas card series you can watch. So if you like, please subscribe to hit button, like my channel. You can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest and Instagram. And until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Bye bye.